Hi, let's see how we can uh, create an Azure Synapse link from the Power Platform Dataverse uh, to uh, to a storage account using the private networking. So to start with, I have a storage account which has currently it has a public networking. And if I go and try to create a Synapse link, that should succeed. So I create a new link here, data. I select a resource group, and then we select a storage account that we just saw. And let me move this out of the way. Next, and then we can select a table. So what Synapse Link does is like it will take data from this table and it will put it in the storage account, and it also keeps the sync. Like if there are any changes made to this table, for example, the account table in this case, then those changes are synced to in the storage account where we are pointing our Synapse Link to. So if I click save, it is creating Synapse Link, and soon we'll have the confirmation. Dataverse is a data store behind the Power Platform as well as Dynamic 365, and then Synapse Link is the technology that enables you to sync data from Dataverse to say a storage account. Okay, so here our Synapse Link is created, and if we go and check in the containers, uh, we see that the container has been created, and we see that the data for the account table has come. Okay, but in many enterprise environments, a publicly enabled storage account is not permitted. So we need to change this storage account networking to private, and then attempt the same thing again. So let me unlink this first. When we unlink, and I want to delete the data as well, and it is unlinking right now. And once the step is complete, I will disable the public networking from the storage account and will attempt the same steps again. Okay, so now if we go back and see that that container is now gone. Now let me change the network setting here. So we are not enabled from all networks. We are only from selected virtual networks and IP addresses, and we save the setting. Okay. The setting has taken an effect. Now we try the same steps again. Select a resource group, the same one, same storage account. Next. Now, okay. Save. It's again trying to go. Okay, 403 error. So it says that it is not able to access the storage account. Okay, because we made it private. And till very recently, the only option, like the private networking was not an option. However, very recently, Microsoft allowed access to the storage accounts using managed identity, and that is a feature that we can use uh, uh, to access to create an Azure Synapse link through private networking. So let's see. So there are a few steps that need to be done. So this is the Microsoft um, KB article that we can use. And if you see that this came in June of 2023, so this is fairly recent. So what we have to do is like we have to enable the enterprise policy for the Azure subscription, and then we create an enterprise policy. And there are like scripts available, and I'll show in the demo how we run those scripts. Um, And so we first enable the enterprise policy on the subscription, then we create an enterprise policy, and then we need to grant the reader access to the admin of the Power Platform admin, so that that person can use the policy. And then we have to connect that policy to the Dataverse environment. Okay, once that is done, then when we are creating, and then we make our storage account private. And once that is done, we will be able to create a Synapse link for Dataverse with managed identity. So if I go back to the steps here, okay, there is a checkbox. Like, so once we have created a managed identity, and and we have linked it to the environment, we will be able to select this checkbox, and then we can go next, and then we can save, and the same step should succeed. Okay, now we will see how we can create that enterprise policy. Okay, so you look at this article, like use managed identities for Azure with your Azure Data Lake storage. Then come down to before you start. Okay, and you need to install the prerequisites, for example, Azure CLI and Azure PowerShell module. So those things are there, and the Power Platform Admin PowerShell module. So these things you need to uh, you need to install on your workstation, and then go to this GitHub, and like, let me open it. And you will be able to download the common.zip file. So here's the download button. Download the file, common.zip file, and it has all the scripts that will be needed for these operations. So let's now see how we can enable a subscription for the managed identity. So I have downloaded the common.zip file, and and now it will give us an output, okay, that the subscription has been enabled for this feature. It's a preview feature. Okay. Then the second step is to create an enterprise policy. So let's now see how we can create an enterprise policy. So what we'll do is we will so to create enterprise policy, we have to run the script, create and identity enterprise policy.ps1, and this create identity enterprise policy.ps1. Okay, we are going to run the script. Okay, and it will ask us for confirmation, and let's do. Okay, so now it's asking us for the subscription ID. Okay, we'll give it our subscription ID. Okay, then we give it our resource group name. Then we give it our enterprise policy name. Okay, and then it asks us for the location, and we can give the location as a United States. There are certain locations that are allowed, and once we run that, so once we run this command, we can see that the policy is created, and we can check that in the Azure portal by going to the Azure Resource Graph Explorer, and then we can run this query. And when we run this query, we see that the policy has been created. Okay, so now we enable the this preview feature, then we created an enterprise policy. So the next step will be to link this policy to the Dataverse environment. So now we will see how we can link the enterprise policy that we created in the last step. Um, and link it to the Dataverse environment. So now we will run the script new identity PS1, and it will ask us if we can run it a couple of times. And then it asks us for the Dataverse environment ID. I have retrieved it and kept it ready. So this is my environment ID. It's a GUID. Okay. And then the policy ID. So this is the resource ID of the policy that we had created. Okay. Now it is asking us to log in. Okay. Okay. And now you can see that it. Okay. So now, right now, the environment and the policy are linked. And now you are all set to change the networking option on the storage account to private, and then you can create the Synapse private link, Synapse link with the managed identity, and this time you will be able to create it even though the storage has private networking and it is not open to public. So that's all. Thank you. Bye.